Mickey Scully, who says, how does one differentiate symptoms or causes?
Don't be a trader, be an investor.
Right.
Right? Buy something looking 3 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out, right? Once you're looking 3, 5, 10 years, what you buy drastically changes.
I am tired of AI. Human art and work for the win. I know humans are screwed. I just need to maintain hope. I'm going to get on my soapbox.
Go get on your soapbox.
All right, Brian, I don't think we're screwed. I don't think we're screwed at all. I think AI is, and I hate to use the word nothing, but nothing more than another tool for us to become creative and do certain things. I'm going to give you a perfect example. About the holidays and working during the holidays.
Yeah.
For those of you out there on TikTok and such, everyone's watching this. As a business owner, I mean, you don't have to go to the office and work, but man, you get so much done. You really do. You get the focus.
Well, I gave everybody off that day.
Yeah.
So like I was the only one working. There were zero interruptions.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was cool because I just got a bunch of stuff done that, like the stuff that's been lingering, like I'll get to it and then you're about to get to it and you get interrupted.
Right.
All that stuff gets done when there's nobody to interrupt you.
Yeah, it really does. And and it's okay. That's why we're there as the managers and owners to work with our employees and to help them along during the year. But every once in a while, when you do get that day when you're by yourself in the office, it's amazing how much work you actually get done. Yeah, I got a ton done on Friday yesterday. I know. So, anything new business wise happened to you over the holidays?
Oh, I have one of those clients now.
Okay, who? What is a those client? What type of those are we referring to?
We started a project for them, and they were getting impatient. I went and met with them, and they were like, "Okay, we'll get you. We have a graphic designer that's in the family. She'll get you some graphics and stuff that'll help set the tone for what you're working on." Perfect. So we wait. Then I got an email. What's the status on the website? And I'm like, we're waiting on the graphics. Oh, they're coming. Okay. Get an email yesterday. Hey, thank you for the updated link, because we were like, we're just going to move along and get some of this stuff moved over.
Right.
And then we'll just fix whatever has to be fixed. And I get an email yesterday from some person I've never met that apparently works there with, we are getting impatient and we are very unhappy with this. And here's a list of things I had previously sent that weren't fixed. So I emailed her back and I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. This is the first time I'm seeing the list. I'll take a look at it tomorrow, right? And then I knew I'd have the girls today.
Yeah.
So I was like, do you know what? Let me just go through this. So I went through it last night.
Yeah.
Got back to every bullet point, fixed what could be fixed immediately, told her the rest would be done, in the next day or two.
Right.
That I still need those graphics that were supposed to set the tone for the rest of it. So I asked 4 questions in the email because they have to make decisions. Like she was like, I don't like the font. I'm like, okay, what font do you like?
What one do you want?
Right?
I'll know it when I see it. That's the worst.
Right. That's gonna be the answer, right? And then they were like, why do we have these 6 food items? And I'm like, well, when I met with, the other people, I told them these are just placeholders. Let me know what items you want there.
Right.
Still don't have that. Why do the pictures look weird? Well, because they're WebP format, so they're not going to look like the printable items you have there, like just basic things, right?
Is this their first time having a website or something?
Probably in a decade.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're like, I would email them like, hey, do you have your menu in a text format so we can copy and paste it over?
Right.
And they send me JPEGs and flattened PDFs. I'm like, not exactly workable documents. So we finally found their menu online, right? Like Uber Eats or one of those.
Yep.
So we copied the menu over, and I totally forgot that the prices are higher on Uber Eats than on their actual menu. So like that was like a snarky comment, like the prices are all wrong. And I was like,
the website wasn't live though, right?
No.
Unbelievable.
No.
And this is the kind of stuff we deal with all the time.
Yeah. Well,
we deal with unrealistic expectations.
So I kind of set unrealistic expectation when I signed them on, because I said, if you keep feeding me things and you get back to me immediately, this shouldn't be more than a week or 2.
Right.
Right. So they have a week or 2 stuck in their head, forgetting if you get back to me.
If you get back to me and give me the materials that I need. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We got 3 versions of the logo while we were starting. Here's our logo. And then a week later, oh, by the way, here's our new logo. And their old logo and their new logo are totally different.
Which changes the design of the site.
One has like a totally like Mexican theme with wood and stuff. And the other one looked like it's one of those cattle things, right? What do you call those? Huh?
Cattle prods.
The one where you heat it up and label the cattle.
Oh, brander.
Yeah.
Branding. Yeah.
So totally two different looks, right? Like one more of a fiesta party in the sun.
Right.
The other one more Texas steakhouse. Like, and we're like, well, that just changes everything, right? And that was 7 days apart.
Wow.
And then I just get comments like, why is our logo so small? Do you want it larger? It's that size because it fits nicely in that size. We can make it bigger.
I'm curious. Are the people that you talked to and signed up for your service the same people that are giving you direction?
No, that's not now.
That's what it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I get it, right? So like at first I was annoyed when I got the email. I'm like, oh, not this again, right? And then I just sucked it up and responded very politely.
Yeah.
But there was a second where it went through my mind. I'm like, they haven't paid me a penny yet.
Oh, they haven't even paid you yet.
No, I told them, just don't pay me till we're done, right? So I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I now do that with all websites.
Right.
I don't bill you anything until the site is done.
Yep.
Because now if I decide that you're not the type of client I want to work with, I can kind of get out of it.
Right.
Up until the point where they're happy and ready to pay, right? Anything before that, they have the freedom to walk away. I have the freedom to walk away.
Right.
But yeah, it was one of those, it did cross my mind for a second. And I'm like, you know what? This is a minor hurdle. I've dealt with this before.
Right.
But the fact that she emailed me as if she had been emailing me for weeks or months, right? But it was the very, very first time I saw an email from that person, right? Yeah. And I was like, all of it was relatively simple stuff. It was just part of the problem was how it was phrased, right? It's because apparently she assumed that I had gotten her previous email,
right?
But I had no emails from this person whatsoever.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that happens. Did you see my email from 2 weeks ago? Nope,
not here.
Never got it.
Right?
Normally I respond to you right away. Yeah. So I don't know. That's unfortunate, but that's something that all business owners
and it's funny because I respond to every email within 24 business hours.
Right, you have to.
Right, so like if you see that pattern, normally you would think, hey, they haven't gotten back to me in 3 or 4 days.
Right,
like either they're ignoring me or the email didn't go through.
Right.
Let me double check that the email actually did go through. Yeah. Right, like that would be the common response.
By the way, I just realized we never actually introduced the show today. We just kind of went right into it. So this is the Start It or Scrap It podcast. I'm Mike Terkanian.
And I'm Gummi.
And we are here to answer your business questions. Or life, if you have life questions too, sure, why not?
You know what? We might as well tackle
questions,
those.
You might as well try to answer them. But we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, and we take your questions live on TikTok. And then while we're waiting for questions from TikTok, we'll go over to Reddit and we'll answer people's questions about starting or running businesses. My background is my first career as a software developer, and now I'm an attorney. And I deal with a lot of technology companies. Gummi?
I mainly help businesses grow, branding, marketing, the human side of branding as well, like what we call internal branding. Mm-hmm. So that's
So if you're live on TikTok, you have any questions about anything like that. Really anything business related, because we deal with it all every single day. We're here. So send us your questions, and we'd love to get to them live on the air today.
I can tell you another thing we did.
Yeah.
So day before Christmas, the 24th, we were sitting around having a conversation because I was building out a couple of AI like chatbots for a client. So we went through and tested the AI chatbots, the voice bots. Mm-hmm. And now every single business profile that we have is answered by a chatbot.
That's great.
Answered by an AI bot, right?
That's great.
But it's programmed in such a way that if it asks, are you a human? It will tell you no. If you ask it, can I talk to a human? It then forwards the calls.
It will tell you no.
No. It will forward the calls to me, right?
That's cool.
And I was looking at it. So it's now been not even a week. It's been 6 days.
Yeah.
It had filtered out 13 spam calls already.
Wow.
Well, more than that. 13 that it filtered out by answering.
Right.
And then it just sends me an email saying, hey, this was a spam or a soliciting
Right.
call. And then there's a bunch of ones that there's a couple that were like missed calls. We don't count those because could have been someone that dialed and nothing happened. Nobody answered.
Right.
But yeah, the amount of spam calls that it filters out is amazing.
So the AI tools like that. So you and I talk a lot about AI. Right? We've been in it from the very beginning. AI tools like that are phenomenal for helping your productivity and such.
Yeah.
Another thing that I not me, but I've been working with my daughter on. She's a nurse down in North Carolina, and but she's also in grad school, so she's like going through like these tests where you have to diagnose people and things like that. And she's been struggling with trying to actually trying to practice the actual, okay, are you feeling this? Are you feeling that?
Yeah.
With people that don't know anything about medicine, like, like her fiance and other people, et cetera. So I went to ChatGPT and I installed it on her phone, and I was like, look, I'm going to set this up for you. And I gave ChatGPT all the instructions and directions, and then I turned it on voice mode.
Yep.
And she's now able to talk to ChatGPT like it's a patient, and it will create some form of ailment and will describe to her what it is, et cetera, et cetera. So she's able to do that. The point of that story is I've started talking to new business owners about doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not quite comfortable yet getting in front of people or pitching your product and you need practice doing it, AI tools are phenomenal for that. You can really, really hone your skills in pitching your product with AI.
We've set up AI agents that now act as a small business owner, as a customer.
Right.
And that's how we train some of our project managers.
Yeah.
Is we have one that's like aggressive, like that pain in the butt type owner. We have one that's like super friendly, but doesn't know anything and doesn't care. But everything we send to them, they're like not sure of. So we've used the typed version of that to basically role play out for project managers how to deal with certain customers.
Right. Yeah.
And
it works great, doesn't it?
Yeah. For training, for stuff. Even do you have Alexa at your house?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have the new one, the AI Alexa?
I don't believe so, no.
So I got upgraded to that. So all the actual Alexa devices are now the updated Alexa AI.
Okay.
And friends of mine have it too. So what I discovered with that one is that it is phenomenal because you can have it play like 20 questions with the kids. You can have it play Would You Rather. You can have it.
I can see that.
Yeah, you can have it help with like educational stuff. Like my kids are starting to use AI as part of like their daily life now. And it's kind of cool because at first my older one was talking to it like it was a friend. And I'm like, that is not proper use of this tool. Like it is not your friend, right? And they've not
yet.
Well, since then they have programmed in. If you ask Alexa, hey, do you have any friends? She makes it explicit that I am an AI and I do not have friends.
Good.
Right? Like it's kind of cool how they're putting in safeguards, and because all my daughter's ones are set to kids mode.
Yeah.
So like it should be even more careful. But it's just amazing to see how we went from, I mean, you and I were here.
Yeah, literally.
Like January after
it launched.
Yeah.
After ChatGPT launched. It was like December it launched, right?
December.
I think.
Yeah, I was in on like day 4.
Yeah.
And I took that between Christmas and New Year. I had work lined up and I was like, this has got to wait. And I did a deep dive on prompting and took like a week where I did nothing but study prompt engineering and prompting and all that stuff. And yeah, all that work that had been sitting there waiting, I now did 7 days worth of work in 2 days after I learned how to use basic prompts like chain prompting, single shot prompts, how to phrase things, how to bring things in. And ever since then, it's just been
like, it's a fantastic tool. And it's going to get more complicated, but better as well.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're a business owner and you're listening to this podcast, again, and if you haven't already, I implore you to learn about AI
Mhm.
and what it can do for your business. More importantly, what it can't do yet, but
Yes.
will be doing in the future,
Mhm.
because it's going to change the way we do business. For a lot of things.
6 months ago, we tested the voice AI agent,
Yeah.
and we're like, it's not ready.
No.
We tested it last
And
week,
now it's ready.
and we went, do you know what? This is good enough, because especially because it's tied into our CRM system.
Yeah.
So I get an email and a notification as soon as a conversation is done,
Yeah.
right? So if I can see the conversation, and if I can see that the person was frustrated, I can call them back, right? And this was the rationale that we used. If I call you back as a business owner,
Yep.
and I was like, hey, you talked to our AI agent, the big reason we put that in place was to filter out all the spam calls we were getting.
Right.
That business owner is not going to go, well, you shouldn't. They're
Yeah,
going
I know.
to be like,
How do I do that?
how many calls did you filter out,
Right.
right?
How
Like,
do I do that on my phone?
because we both know business owners. We answer when our phone rings.
We answer it.
Right?
Doesn't matter what the call is.
It doesn't matter.
Potential spam. Well, maybe not.
Correct, right? Because that could be the next $100,000
Yeah.
deal that you didn't answer,
Right.
right? So the AI agents are really good at picking that stuff up and eliminating it. Like, we tried everything. We tried the putting a push 1 for this, 2 for this, 3. They still get through. This one, they do not get through.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we have some questions here on,
already?
on TikTok. Yeah, no, I actually got a couple. We got 3 already that we get to. So if you're on TikTok watching, hello. Please put your questions into the comments, and we'll do our best to get to them live on the podcast today. So the first one is from Yobing, who says, phone accessories are a gold mine. People will pay an exorbitant amount on plastic if it feels personal enough. Where does one get in contact with a good manufacturer during these trying times of tariffs and whatnot?
Same place you used to.
Like, what's you to do, right? You still have to go to China.
Even if there are tariffs and all
Yeah.
that stuff, the only thing that's changed is the price.
Yeah.
There is
Still
still
manufacturing in the United States.
Not
for those types of things.
not
anyway.
for those things.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe there are. Maybe there's a
There
couple,
are, but not on that level.
Yeah, they're
right? Like,
minimal.
and if you're doing entry
It's
to
going to
market,
want to cost you the same thing anyway.
it's going to probably cost you more
Yeah.
still to make it here,
Yeah.
right? Like, but that playing field has leveled a little bit. But yeah, if you want production expertise, understanding of products, people that have been there, done that, seen all these different accessories and
Yeah.
stuff, China is still the place.
I know they're we're trying to get manufacturing closer to home, but unfortunately, it's just not the case yet.
No,
At least not that I've seen.
I
don't know anywhere in the United States where I could go to get phone accessories made.
correct. So
China, I could hit 5 places with a stone.
it's interesting because I totally forgot, my uncle has his own clothing line.
Yeah.
Specifically for people that are into like equestrian. It's an equestrian clothing line.
Oh, cool.
Right? And he tells me all the time that he goes to places like Pakistan and India and all that stuff. He's like, because they produce far better clothing and material than China does.
Okay.
So like when he wants like waterproof clothing and that type of stuff, apparently he goes to like Pakistan and I think he said Vietnam. So like it's understanding there are certain countries that have advanced certain things that they manufacture, right? Like if you want to start importing jeans, you don't look to Asia, you look to South America.
Wow, really? Really?
Yeah.
Jeans in South America?
Jeans.
That's kind of cool.
Ecuador, for example.
Yeah.
They are really, really, really advanced with that. And they actually white label a bunch of brands that you know. Because a buddy of mine actually works for a jeans company.
Yep.
And they used to white label. So Levi's doesn't make their own jeans anymore. It's all just produced in a factory according to Levi's standards.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped Levi's because their quality wasn't good enough anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So they've had their own line of clothing, even though they were producing for Levi's, but they deemed that that the quality wasn't good enough to what they could manufacture themselves. So they focused on their own line, and they also make it for a bunch of
That's interesting.
a couple of the big stores down south.
That's very interesting. Now, Yobing followed up and said, 3D printing. We have farms all over the U.S., and I believe that is my key.
Okay.
Well, technically, yes, you can. The problem, 3D printing is not mold injection printing,
No.
right? Or mold injection, I should say.
Yeah.
And the quality of 3D printed materials is not yet. It might be in the future, but the resin and the resin that's used for 3D printing, it can be flimsy. It's not going to be as strong as materials that are being made with injection molds.
And on the other side of that, there are certain things you can do with 3D printing that you can't do with mold injection.
Right.
So it really depends on the accessory type that you're making,
right?
Which production.
And are we talking about electronics as well within?
No, it sounds like it's just talking about like
plastic
cases and like all these things, like the lights you can attach, like anything but the phone itself.
No, sure, but even some of the accessories will have some type of electronics sometimes built into it.
But if
you're not talking about electronics being built into it, I mean, 3D printing could be a way to go. You just got to be careful again with the strength of the materials that you're trying to use.
This is why it's good to talk to someone that has been in this type of production for a while, is because they can tell you, whether injection molding or 3D printing would be better.
Yeah.
Right. Because there are instances like I remember when 3D printing was coming out, and then they started 3D printing metal parts. Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
So what's happening is they are now looking at engineering some of the parts in a different way, because they are now able to do things that the molding process wasn't able to do before.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
So this could drastically change how cars are designed, for example, because they can now print a specific part, no longer limited by what the mold can accomplish, but rather what their imagination can accomplish, because the 3D printer doesn't need to be a solid piece. You can make a piece inside of a piece,
right?
Which has been a limitation of injected.
Yes, the other issue, another issue with 3D printing right now, at least, is the speed as well, right? Now, again, it takes a while to set up the molds and everything like that. But once you get the mold set up, it's boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
You printed 100 of them within a minute.
Yeah.
Whereas 3D printing will take you hours to produce one item. So, and now, even if you have a farm of 100 printers, it's still going to take time to produce a certain amount of objects.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's getting faster. It's getting better.
Yeah.
3D printers 10 years ago are nothing compared to 3D printers today.
What they are
and
today.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can absolutely use 3D printing in the U.S. It's great. Heck, you don't even need a farm. Do it at your house. Honestly, get 40 printers, set them up. They're only a couple $100 a piece now. Set up a bunch of printers and print out your own stuff if you want.
It depends on the quality you want,
course,
right? Like, so if you're talking industrial, 3D,
of course, yeah.
But
so that is absolutely a possibility. I'd be kind of curious actually if you do this and you do decide to go the 3D printing route. I'd actually appreciate a follow-up letting us know what it cost you versus what it would have cost to order them.
You can also have, I only found this out recently, but apparently I think it's the UPS store.
Yeah.
You know how they have their print on demand stuff?
Yeah.
Apparently they have a 3D printer farm somewhere where you
really?
Yeah.
Who knew? Oh, yes, you did. I had no idea.
And I think Staples might have one too. They basically have one giant 3D printer farm.
Yep.
And you can go and order a 3D printed object, and all those will be manufactured there and then just shipped to you.
Yep.
But it's great for things like prototyping, right? Like if you want to just make 50 of them to start, you might go that route. You're not going to make as much money off the final product.
Right.
But you don't have to go buy the printers. You don't have to do a lot of this stuff. You literally just send them your drawings.
Uh-huh.
They will print it and ship it to you.
Will they do the CAD design too?
No, so I think you have to send them the CAD design,
okay.
And then they just print it, right?
Okay.
They're basically just extending their print services to 3D printing.
See, that's another thing about now. Personally, I've never of all the things I've done in technology. All right, I've done a lot in technology. 3D printing is one of the areas I just haven't covered yet, and I don't know the first thing about making a 3D printing drawing or CAD design. I believe it's a CAD design, right?
It's similar,
similar to a CAD design, and then actually rendering and getting printed. I dealt with tons of the resultant materials, which are nice. They're kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, most of them are very breakable. They're not like, manufactured products, but they're still very nice. So I'm not sure if I'm not even sure where to begin to take a design and say, okay, let's make this into a 3D printable object. I don't know. I'm sure I can figure it out very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I just personally haven't
think of
dealt
it.
with it.
It's basically like a CAD software, right?
Yeah.
Like it,
Which I've dealt with. I've
Yeah.
worked with that.
so it's not that big of a leap to go into that.
Yeah.
I just know because we were asked to take a look at it.
Oh, okay. So Yobing, good luck to you. You're absolutely right. Phone accessories, huge. We talked to someone on here not too long ago that personalized phone accessories. It did like personalized cases, etchings in cases, different colors and things like that, and that that was pretty cool. I hope their business is starting up.
You're talking about the asthma inhaler people,
I think so.
the custom asthma inhalers.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the asthma. That's right. That's the asthma inhalers.
Yeah.
Well, no, we did a phone case thing too, but no, the asthma inhalers. You're right. That's another one where they did the
Different
the
colors and
designs
types and
such on the
designs,
asthma inhalers. That's right. That would be perfect for 3D
3D
printing.
printing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, good luck to you. And honestly, if you do this, I would really be curious about the cost of 3D printing versus getting manufactured overseas, even with the tariffs.
Mold injection. Yeah.
Yeah, mold injection. All right, let's move on to Dave's in Texas. Hi, Dave. Dave says, okay, how do I do a TikTok live about chronic pain help? I want to start a TikTok live to help chronic pain patients concerning the CDC and new pain bill in the House. I'm not familiar with the pain bill yet. I heard something about it, but I haven't read the actual bill yet.
Is that the one limiting prescriptions and all kinds of stuff? Like,
probably because they're so worried about the opioid epidemic. And
so like we have hello. Hold on. That's probably one of my kids. So, hey, you want to come in? So we have a friend. Okay. You good?
Okay. Bye-bye.
See you later. She just needs a little attention sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay.
So we have a friend that was sent home basically to go on hospice care, right?
Yep.
One of the things I found out, no doctor that is sending you home will prescribe more than 5 days worth of pain meds.
Okay.
Right? So if you're on hospice and you don't have someone tending to you,
how are you going to get them? Right. Yeah.
And you have to renew them every 5 days, right? So at the time, he got home on a Friday. His care was set to start the following Wednesday. So basically, by the time the hospice nurse showed up, he would have been out of pain meds, right? With no doctor to prescribe more because he had been in a rehab facility. The doctor from there is the one that prescribed the drugs. Well, he's no longer under his care, so he can't continue it. He hadn't seen his primary doctor in 2.5 years.
Oh, geez.
They wouldn't prescribe anything. Right? So now you're like, well, it's not like we can make a doctor's appointment and take this man that can barely walk,
right?
To see the doctor.
So David Texas, I'm assuming that's part of what you're talking about. Follow up in the comments, let us know. But he continues with 24 million chronic pain patients. Live on TikTok to test market the idea. The CDC prescribes for all chronic pain patients. Limits sets for all doctors. That's kind of what you were saying.
Yep.
Blowback from the opioid addiction. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I have to imagine that's what it is. It's killing the chronic pain patient. There's 24 million Americans. I'm guessing your question is how to do a TikTok live.
Just start.
Right? Maybe it's a little more in detail than that. Like, what do you actually do? Right?
You pick up your phone.
You pick up your phone, stick it on an iPad like we have.
Yeah, stick it on a tripod.
Yeah.
Attach a mic to it.
Open up TikTok and hit the go live button
and
start talking.
Correct. And start inviting people up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just make sure you moderate it. Make sure you stay away from certain words.
Right. Yeah. There are certain words that you can't say the one word. You could say unalive.
Correct.
Right. So there's certain words you can't say. The algorithm will pick it up and will start blocking your.
Really, I was surprised when I started joining some lives randomly. So um, during the pandemic, we were all bored, right?
Yep.
So there were a bunch of communities that just popped up on TikTok. And you would log on a Thursday night and you would go into a room and it was always the same 5 or 6 people just talking,
Yeah.
right? And you'd be like, why are there 100 people watching this? And then you realize it's because it was genuine interaction. They
Yeah.
were having genuine conversations, right? Like, were they solving world hunger? No.
They're just talking.
But were they having good, interesting conversation? And it was funny because I got into a conversation with one person about investing, right? And that's when I found out that most people aren't taught about investing, right? So she comes on and she's like, hey, I know you do some investing and stuff. Do you mind if I ask you some questions? And I'm like, well, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm like, sure. So she goes, so I want to dip my toes into it. And she's like, I don't know what I should be buying and selling and all that stuff. And I'm like, don't be a trader, be an investor.
Right.
Right? Buy something looking 3 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out, right? Once you're looking 3, 5, 10 years, what you buy drastically changes, right? Because you're not looking for the quick money, you're looking for the constant returns. And then someone came on that was half in the bag and started interrupting, and the mod literally muted his mic and went, we're listening to life-changing advice here. Go away. I'm like, I wouldn't call it life-changing, right? But it was funny because these conversations were happening all over. I mean, there were political conversations, but conversations like this were happening all over the place, right? A buddy of mine had a live kind of dealing with chronic pain. He's a doctor. He's on TikTok. He talks about how spinal treatment is often overlooked when it comes to a lot of these chronic things.
Mhm.
It's because you can x-ray someone's spine and it looks fine, but there's just parts of the spine that are off by like just a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks normal on an
Centimeters.
x-ray, but if you push on it, it hurts.
Yeah.
Well, it's not supposed to, which means something is out of alignment there, right? And he thinks that with spinal manipulation and helping the spine re-stretching out, now he's not a chiropractor, just because that's what we're going to get. He's actually a physical therapist.
Okay.
And discovered that a lot of his clients' symptoms, the stuff that they came in for, went back to spinal problems, right? Like your hand was numb.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that's not a hand problem, right? That's the symptom.
Right.
So they started focusing a lot more on neck and spine issues and using different. So he basically pulled from physical therapy, he pulled from chiropractic, he pulled from medicine, he pulled from like Asian medicine, and kind of developed his own treatments. And he has had people with chronic diseases that have come in that they have said cured, all through spinal stuff. And on my, I actually talked to him on my other podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things he was saying is what's overlooked so much is you want to move your hand, right? Your brain tells your hand to move it. Okay. Mm-hmm. That can function with, he compares it to like electrical signals. Will the hand move if there's 80% of the signal going out there? Yes. What about 60%? Yes. Okay. Perfect. It may just not work as fast. It could be a slight delay between thinking grab it and it actually happening. And he's like, now keep in mind, every organ in your body is connected to the spine. Mm-hmm. Well, what happens if the spleen is only getting 60% of their signal? Yeah. What happens if the gut is only getting 60% of the signal? Because on an x-ray and on everything else that we would photograph MRIs, it would look normal because they're still detecting a current. They're just not measuring how strong the current is.
How do we get on this medical conversation?
Because he was
no, I know. Somehow we got twisted up.
Right, but it was kind of interesting to talk to him, and he's now created a whole business just around this new concept of treating people.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's very cool. So Dave's from Texas. So it seems like your question here is, how do you start a TikTok live? Honestly, it's that simple. Just just go and literally open up your phone or your iPad or a computer, not computer, but
And
go to iPad and hit the live button and just start talking.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to script it. Don't script it, as a matter of fact.
No,
The more you're like just yourself and the more natural it is, the more people actually watch and more people are interested.
Some of the most popular lives out there is literally, well, some of them have become more advanced, but I remember joining lives where it was literally someone on their cell phone.
Yeah.
And there were 2,000 people watching. And I'm like,
that's cool.
It is, right?
It is.
Because if you talk about something people are interested in, it will get pushed out to those people.
Right.
Like it. And that's the beauty of how these algorithms now work, is that they're all interest-based.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about something that someone's interested in, you will eventually be shown to them.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's just a matter of, are you having a conversation interesting enough that people stay?
Right. Exactly. We do have a follow-up to your medical discussion from Mickey Scully, who says, how does one differentiate symptoms or causes? Who's the doctor? Let's honestly plug the doctor, because we can't answer that question.
So his name is Dr. Caleb Slater.
Okay, there you go. So Mickey Scully, look up Caleb Slater.
Yep.
He's the doctor that Gummi's friends with that can probably point you in a much better direction. Yeah. Sorry.
And like, he's treated stuff that has commonly been known as untreatable.
Yeah.
With medication being the only option.
Mm.
And with this new technique that he has developed, they are actually what used to be considered a root cause.
Yep.
They're now finding out was really just a symptom.
Oh, okay.
And by treating the actual problem, they're removing that symptom, right? Which previously,
right,
we thought was,
you're just medicating that symptom. Yeah.
So it's very interesting. He has a different approach to things.
Okay, so Mickey Scully followed up. I apologize. Okay. He's followed up. He said, LOL, in business, not medicine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. We were talking about spines and things like that. And
that's popping.
All right, let's start over. Hey, Mickey Scully on TikTok has a question. He says, how does one differentiate symptoms or causes in business, not medicine?
Okay, so I'll give you a perfect example of a difference between a symptom and a cause is, for example, when we were first starting, we would go through multiple designs for a client, right? And we always thought that the client's inability to make a decision was the cause of the problem.
Right.
So we tested it for 6 months where we only sent them one design.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened? We went from having 7 revisions to 3.
Yeah.
Right? We thought the problem was in the end where we were communicating with a client and getting feedback on 3 different designs. Mm-hmm. No, that was a symptom of the problem where we thought, hey, they're going to want more to begin with. And we found out more just complicated things.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we were the problem.
This is the, I think, if I remember correctly, this is called the shoe salesman problem.
Okay.
Right? Where if you offer somebody 3 pairs of shoes to look at, they're going to have difficulty making a choice between the 3.
Yeah.
But if you offer, or 3 or more, really. But if you offer them 2 different pairs of shoes, they're going to make a choice very quickly.
Yep.
And more choices the point is, though, generally speaking, the more choices you give somebody, the harder it is for them to make a decision.
And they have tested this at like retail stores, where if there was a jam company that tested it, they would make 7 different kinds of jams. And when they put out all 7, their sales would drop.
Yeah.
When they only put out 2, their sales would increase. So they literally, instead of having all 7 out there, they rotated through them and sold drastically more.
Wasn't it the iPhone originally? It came in like 2 different colors. It was black or white or something. I think it was just black.
Yeah, it was just black.
I think it was just black originally. Nothing else. No other options.
It was the iPhone.
Yeah,
there was one choice, right?
Yeah, and now they have obviously a variety of colors and things like that. But now because everyone's using it, but originally it was just black, just this, just that. You really didn't have many options other than, do you want more memory?
Yeah,
that was really. They could have easily made different colors.
But there's other things where people often confuse symptoms with problems, right? Like another example could be inventory. Right? People often associate problems. There's problems with their inventory. The problem isn't the inventory. The problem is the inventory management, right? And there's a huge difference between the two. I'm trying to think of what else. There's a bunch of stuff that I've seen.
Well, software has the exact same issue when so developing software. So the problem is it takes a while to get something done.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of times it's the coders. The coders aren't doing a good job. Well, most of the time it's actually not the coders. It's either the management behind it or the process that was developed and the project management to actually get the coders to do what they're supposed to be doing. And that's actually probably 90% of the issue most of the time. It's not the coders, it's the people behind the coders telling them what needs to be done or not telling them what needs to be done.
And we see it in, I've talked about this in the past too, is when you're setting up an advertising campaign, right? On Meta, Google, any of those, is there are specific symptoms that we diagnose along the way, and we know what the problem associated with that symptom is, right? Like we know if we get a good click-through rate, but not enough signups or purchases, the problem could be one of two things. The landing page isn't good enough, or the ad doesn't reflect what they actually see.
Right.
Right. So is the problem the ad, or is the problem the page? Well, if we're getting people to click through, chances are the page is the problem because it's not converting. So it would be easy to say, oh, they're all useless clicks.
Yeah.
And no, getting all those clicks and not any sales, that's the symptom. Now you got to identify the actual problem, right? So that's why we a lot of times will do split testing. We'll change the creative and keep the original landing page, and then we'll use the creative that actually converted clicks and change the landing page. And it allows us to see in actual numbers which one was the problem, right? So yeah, it's a lot of times people think the symptom is the problem, but the problem is much higher, right? And we've talked about another thing in the past is if you have a high turnover rate, right? It's very easy to say, well, that's just the nature of my business, or that's just how things are. This is normal in our industry, right? And then someone stops it and goes, wait a minute, a high turnover rate could be a symptom that we just have bad morale, right? Like we have a bad brand. What if we fix that? What if we treat our employees better? What if we work on that?
Talk to former employees and find out why they left.
Is employee turnover the problem, or is it the symptom? Right? I argue 90% of the time it's a symptom of something else being wrong. Right?
Right.
But it's very easy to just cast the blame on, well, that generation's just lazy, right? Like you hear it all the time, and you're like, no, they're not, right? Like different things matter to them, right? So identify the symptom and look at, is there something that could be causing this symptom? Because the answer is normally yes.
Right.
Once you get to the no, now you've found the actual problem. The problem is you only know what you know. So sometimes it can be hard to get to that, well, no, this must be the problem, right? Because you can get 3 symptoms before you find the actual problem.
And I'll tell you what, and this actually is going to follow in with the next question from Tammy Liner 2345. So I'm going to get back to you, Mickey, slowly in just a second, because I think these two are kind of tied. Tammy says, what trends are you watching in your industry as we head into 2026? And we were talking about it earlier. It's all going to be about AI for in most industries.
So I'm also watching other things.
Bear with me once, because I'm going to finish out Mickey Scully along with Tammy. One thing that you can do also to differentiate symptoms from causes is when you're finding that there's a problem and you're seeing something wrong, I personally have no problem putting it into AI and saying, okay, here's what I'm experiencing. Mm-hmm. Tell me what could be happening that I'm missing.
Yes.
And it will give you a whole list of things. And one of them might be like, oh, it's an aha moment. You're like, yes, that's right. We are doing that. How do I fix this?
It is really good at analyzing stuff.
It's great for that.
Well, I've told you we've used it on some of our clients where we take all their Google reviews and we have it analyze based on these reviews, where's the weakness in the business, and it literally will give it to us, right? Sometimes it's really obvious to see, but it just gives you a different perspective from what we would normally diagnose and
Right.
look at, right? So yeah, it's great for stuff like that.
Yeah. So Mickey Scully, if you have any follow-ups, please feel free to put them into the
Mhm.
chat. And Tammy, we're going to move on to your question about trends for 2026, aside of AI. Go ahead. What are you watching?
So we're not even watching AI anymore.
Okay.
I mean, we know that that ship is an oil tanker in the harbor right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so there's no point of watching it. It's just adapting with it at this point.
Well, that's the key. As a business owner, you need to start watching and
Correct.
adapting to it.
Correct.
You can't sit behind
Yeah.
this. This is just like in the late 90s when everyone was like, the internet's a fad. It's not going to be a big deal. I've had so many people tell me that. And then 5 years later, I wish I would have listened to you. I wish I would have done this. Can't help you now.
There's a bunch of people that missed the .com boom.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that missed early days of Facebook.
Yeah.
Where you could set up a business page and you would have 200,000 followers before.
No one thought that shopping on a phone was ever going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Now it's the only way you shop.
So I can tell you, as far as I don't know if I'd call it a trend, because I'm in the marketing field. One of the things we watch closely is cost per eyeball and cost of conversions.
Yep.
And there are certain things that are coming down in price drastically that we're watching. Billboards.
Yep.
Newspaper or like local magazines. Going back to direct mail. So on the marketing side of things, it's old is new again, right? We're monitoring Facebook pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook for a certain demographic and target audience is a gold mine right now. The cost per conversion on Facebook has
gone down quite a bit, right?
Drastically.
Yeah. Where are people putting their money inside of Facebook, aside of Facebook?
So if you're talking about the average small business, they spend the vast majority of their budget generally on Google. Yeah. Not enough businesses are doing brand marketing. Like, there's too much chasing leads, final step of the lead form.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a trend back more towards brand marketing instead of conversion marketing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think that's coming pretty heavily because the way users interact with content and how they flow now is, I mean, it's still the same core process, but the thing is you don't know where someone picks it up along the journey. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
and I have a theory about that. But go ahead.
So yeah, we have started treating everything more like brand marketing, assuming that you are just getting introduced to the brand and that you will self-funnel yourself down the funnel rather than trying to force you down the funnel.
Okay. And I actually, and I didn't think about it until just now, but I completely agree with you. I've been thinking about it a little bit differently. Brand marketing, I think, is going to be, was in the past and is now going to be again a big driver because think of what online shopping did, right? Originally it was, if it was on Amazon, you could pretty much trust it. Then it was, okay, well, now we're going to look at the reviews. And if the reviews say it's good, you can pretty much trust it. Now you can't trust just because it's on Amazon, and now you can't trust the reviews.
Nope.
So what do you trust? You got to trust the brand. You have to know, I've used that brand in the past, that brand is good. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, because the same product is being sold by 50 different companies with 50 different names. Mm-hmm. Actually, probably 2 different companies with 50 different names. So you don't know what to trust anymore. So you're going to have to go back to trusting a brand that you know.
I can give you an extremely simple example of exactly that. Answer.
Okay.
Right? They make cables and electronic parts and stuff. 10 years ago, nobody knew who they were.
Right.
And now it's become one of those, when I need a battery pack to
that's
go.
Where you go. You know it's going to work.
Correct. Right. And I can get it on Amazon. I know if it doesn't work, Amazon will take it back. But if I get shown 8 products and one of them is an Answer product, that's the one I'm buying, even if it's a couple of bucks more.
Right.
Because I know it's probably just going to work. Right.
Yeah.
And they have now started advertising. I saw my first Answer ad on TV the other day. I was like, look at that. Right. Like, it's brand marketing, right? Like, they were just showcasing their battery packs, right? Which I already knew were pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But
you knew, not everybody knows.
But the fact that they are getting back to brand advertising also means that end of funnel dollars are going to start going down, which is also good because that could make those ads perform even better. right? So by going back to brand advertising, my theory is you'll save money on both ends of the spectrum,
Mm,
right?
I agree. Yeah, and I think it's going to be a bigger driver.
Mhm.
It was a driver for 50 years in advertising. It was all about brand, brand, brand,
Yep.
right? Except for the new products, like, oh, I
Yeah.
got to have that new thing that's never existed before. Other than that, it's always been about brand when you're talking about
Yeah.
differentiating between
It's
products.
funny because I have clients on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I have a guy that will not do conversion marketing. He's like, it's too costly and I don't reach enough people.
Mhm.
He's like, with brand marketing, for every one lead that I would get at the bottom of the funnel, I could introduce 100 people to my name. He's like, which one do you think I'd rather do? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I get it, right? Like I'm all for it, but I think there needs to be a much better mixture of that as far as 2026 goes.
Yeah. So, Tammy Liner, I hope that answers your question. So that's at least
I-
one trend. You have another trend?
I don't know if it's a trend, but I think there's going to be a lot more acceptance of AI being involved in solving basic problems
Sure.
for companies. I just saw there was a tool that someone bought, whether it was Meta or Google or something,
Mhm.
that basically has created very, very niche specific AI agents that you can put in a middleman. Like you can have it organize your calendar. You can have it auto reply to certain emails. You can have it, and they're just agents that are plug and play, right? So like if you want it in your email,
Yep.
you can install it as almost like a plugin, and it just connects to your email, and you don't have to do anything. Like
Yeah.
you just
I know.
you click the settings, and then
I'm so tempted to try something like that.
some of them are getting pretty good.
Some of them are amazing from what I hear.
Yeah. But yeah,
Because the zero inbox is all our dream. It's a dream.
yeah, I have that right now.
You have nothing in your inbox?
Waiting?
No, nothing in your inbox.
No, I
Like,
always have
everything's
stuff in my.
organized. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because of the industry I'm in, I always keep emails for 12 months, just in case. So I have emails going back 12 months, and then
Yeah.
I like right now. So tomorrow I go back and I delete all of my December last year emails.
Yep.
So to me, an empty inbox is
I got you.
not
Nothing you need to actively work on.
correct.
All right. Time for one more.
One more.
All right. And this one's cool because Brian Tooler said this,
Okay.
and I'm partially on board with you, Brian. And my son and I discuss this quite often. He says, I am tired of AI. Human art and work for the win. I know humans are screwed. I just need to maintain hope. So I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute with this.
Get on
Okay?
your
All
soapbox.
right, Brian, I don't think we're screwed. I don't think we're screwed at all. I think AI is, and I hate to use the word nothing, but nothing more than another tool for us to become creative and do certain things. And let me give you a perfect example. My son plays 7 different instruments. Okay, he has pretty much his whole life, and I'm so glad he does because it's something I always wanted to do. And when he showed interest when he was really young, I really encouraged him and helped him do that. We got piano lessons, and then guitar and drums. And he plays 7 different instruments right now. It's fantastic, and he makes his own music, and it's great. I'm happy that he can do that. But that's also something I've always wanted to do. Right now. You, Gummi, introduced me to a product called Suno, right? And Suno can literally be make this sound like this, hit a button, and it does it, right? Fine, that's one way of doing it. But I want to put my personal creativity into the songs and music that I want to make. So Suno also has a feature where I can sing and or hum or anything like, or put a beat on the table, right? And it will convert it into various types that I can choose from. Okay, I like this. I want to change it a little bit. It gives me an editing platform. And it actually allows me to make music as I can hear it in my head, but don't have the ability to create with my hands. Right. Well, I guess with my hands technically on a keyboard, but not with instruments, right? So yes, AI is doing... Is it the heavy work? I don't know. It's doing the behind the scenes work. It's getting it out of my head and into something that other people can hear, which is really cool. But it's still my creativity. It's still my lyrics. It's still the music that I want to hear. It sounds like I want it to hear, or I want it to sound.
Right.
And yes, I do sometimes say, oh, that's a great addition that the AI made to it. Let's use that as well. But at the end of the day, it's still my creativity. So I don't know that we're screwed. I know that that's the feeling a lot of people get, but I feel like it's actually helping us do things that we wouldn't normally be able to do.
It's very much like any advancement in technology, right? Is that it has opened the door for more people to create something.
Yes.
Right. And we've had this, like you and I had this conversation at Thanksgiving, right?
Yes, we
where
did.
where I was like, well, the tractor came along and people were like, oh, we're screwed. There's not going to be any,
right.
There's no farm hands, right?
Right,
And 30% of the population lost their job, right? Oh, the food's not going to be the same. Well,
Right.
Okay, it's not, but it's getting produced a lot more efficiently, right? And then on the music side, we went from string instruments and things that only had the ability to carry whatever sound you made.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, wait a minute,
What if we could record this?
No, what if I plug this guitar into electricity?
Okay. The other road.
Right?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Now all of a sudden 10,000 people can hear me, right? Nobody went, oh, we're screwed. Now you can have a concert for 10,000 people at a time, right? Well, now you could start making new music, right? The funniest thing I read all week was heavy metal is just classical music before electricity, right? And then the guy plays a couple of like the symphonies and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, classical music is heavy metal before electricity,
absolutely.
Right?
You ever hear heavy metal with class? Like Metallica used to do that with classical band. Oh, so good.
But even the classical songs played with electricity sound like heavy metal.
I know,
right? Same thing. When you take classical music and you turn it into dance music or like electronic EDM type music, it sounds like it was made for that.
Yeah.
So like this is just the next step in what's going to be possible, right? And I was so fascinated. I saw a huge EDM artist that was actually promoting one of these platforms, because what he was doing was he was playing an instrument and then converting that to another instrument that he didn't play.
Yes.
So he could hear what he wanted it to sound like.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
But he didn't have the ability to play that instrument.
Right.
So now, rather than having to go out, find someone that can play it, bring them to the studio, play it to them, and then have that person play it back, he was able to create that instrument for his track in a matter of seconds instead of minutes or hours or days. Right. So
Brian follows up, says, breaking down barriers of entry has its benefits, but the same things that make, say, an artist so unique and special can now be so easily replicated. That magic is gone. Now it's just a push of a button.
But that's
I got to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because number one, AI doesn't make anything we don't tell it to make. We got to tell it what to make.
Kind of. Yeah, to a certain extent.
In most cases, we do. Right?
If you want anything that sounds decent, yes.
Yeah. Well, forget about that. Let's talk about art. Okay, forget about music. Let's just talk about art in general. I could say, hey, AI, go make me some paintings. And it will just come up and make some paintings. Sure. But it won't necessarily be it might not necessarily be something that I find deep or creative, and would just a painting.
Or you like for that matter.
Right. So, and Brian, let me give you another example. Okay. When we're talking about this stuff, we're talking about digital. We haven't even gotten into the realm of the physical, right? Most people on the podcast know I go out to Burning Man every year. And out there, I mean, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of art pieces that people put together. None of that is AI generated.
Right.
It can't be AI generated. People put in hundreds of hours into their art and bring it out to the desert to show people. Some of these things are, 2 stories, 3 stories tall. That's not AI generated. That is still human creativity.
Certain things are just going to change, right? And the music industry is one of those things that has been constantly evolving. Right. Like my daughters are on a Taylor Swift kick right now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
They're all, thank you. They're all in on Taylor Swift, right? And you can log on to any of these music websites and listen to music that AI has generated. And honestly, if you played me a Taylor Swift song, I could not tell you that it wasn't AI generated.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is,
yeah.
right? But that AI has evolved.
Nothing against Taylor Swift. I mean,
No.
phenomenal artist. She obviously
Correct.
knows what she's doing.
Right.
And people love her music.
Correct. But I don't think that it's just the music, right? It's the whole persona behind the music, right?
Yeah.
It's all of those other things that now matter more. It's the ability to do concerts. It's the showing up on social media. It's the people connecting with you, not just connecting with the music, right? Which is what has pretty much been true with every Michael Jackson, like go through Britney Spears, like boom, boom, boom. You can go down the list, right? And it's always, was their music phenomenal? Michael Jackson? Yes. Britney Spears? Miley Cyrus? She does some good stuff, right?
Yeah,
like
some.
Elle King.
No, but that's our opinion.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Right?
Other people be like, oh my God, Miley Cyrus is the greatest artist ever.
And then we can go back and look at, okay, Pantera, right? Every Pantera fan knows the story of Dimebag, right? Right? And we all connect with it. Like we all know Metallica having to go through, right? We all know what song is dedicated to the bassist, right? Like we all know that they struggled to find another bassist, and they finally found, where did he come from again? He's so good too. Even his son has played at a Metallica. He's like,
I know this story. Yeah, I can't remember.
So they auditioned a bunch of bassists, and this guy just shows up, and he was like, playing Metallica songs. It was like he was having morning tea, right? Like, and they ended up hiring him. But so it's one of those things. We were all afraid when the computer came that it would take over every job, right? Like, which it took over a bunch of jobs.
Yeah, that created a bunch of new jobs.
That's correct, right? So everything is just kicking the can down the road, so to speak. Is we are going to see new things, and we're going to see things fade out, right? Because there are going to be limitations on any technology. AI is going to be one of them. It's just a matter of where is the limitation. And we don't know that yet, right? Even computing, there were limitations on computing until someone came up with quantum computing. Right. And now, and now all of a sudden people are like, wait, so every computer in the world could be obsolete overnight? Well, it's not going to be overnight. But if you get quantum computing, then yes, every single encryption on the planet is no longer safe, right? Because quantum computing can break it in a matter of seconds, right? So, I just have a hard time with I get people don't like that some computer made an entire song. The reality is 98% of people can't tell the difference between an AI-generated song and one done by an artist.
Well, I think that's part of Brian's point, though, right? Brian's point is that if people can't tell the difference, then the people who are actually taking 100 hours to write a single song are screwed because AI can do it in a matter of seconds.
But I don't think they're screwed.
I don't think that's the case.
No, I think there are still... What's going to happen is when you mass produce something at a blah level, the exquisite stuff is going to be worth more, right?
It is going to rise. I think it rises.
So I think, like, do you think AI could have come up with some of these Björk songs?
No.
Right?
Never.
Do you think they
Björk shouldn't have come up with those songs?
Well, if you knew her.
I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, if you knew her.
I've seen some of the crazy videos of interviews with her.
Same thing with, like, Sigurdarson, right? Another Icelandic band.
Fantastic band.
We can go back further. Led Zeppelin, Ozzy, some of Michael Jackson's stuff.
Yeah, it's not going to come up. I don't see AI coming up with new sounds.
No.
I see AI being able to say, oh, here's a sound. Let me do something with that.
So here's where I agree, but I don't agree. I think AI, someone is going to figure out a way to prompt it where it comes out with something new, because they are combining Celine Dion with Pantera, with Prodigy, and you get this absolutely unique sound, right?
That sounds awesome.
I'm just saying, right? Like, but if you were describing, like, hey,
Prodigy, wow.
I'm just saying, like, but it allows you to put things together as well that may never have been put together in a way that works, and AI could figure out how to make it work.
Actually, that's a good point, because actually it's yes, to your point, but I think the heavier side to that is you could make 20 versions of it in a matter of minutes, as opposed to if you were doing it live as a band, it would take you days and days and days. So you can make 20 versions of something and really start to fine tune got it. Now this is the sound that I like. Here's the prompt that I need for that sound. Now let me go
Yes.
and start making that happen. Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Like, it's because I was just having fun because I'm back into my metal stage again, because I find that it calms my brain
Nice.
a lot. So I actually went through and I was trying to make some metal music, and some of it's pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
But in order for me to do it, I had to go through, I probably spent 4 or 5 days going through different prompt combinations.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
And then when I finally got it, I was able to build a playlist of 3 songs that kind of nailed the sound I was looking for. So now the prompt with the 3 songs that I used to reference, I was able to produce probably 5 or 10 songs in a row that were like, yep, that's the sound I was looking for. Right?
You know what I think is going to happen sometimes? Sometimes I think this is going to happen. I could be way off. I think apps like that, music apps, etc., are going to allow us to make music that we want to listen to, not necessarily music that everybody wants to listen to.
I make the music
because some of the music I make, I'm like, wow, I really like this.
You and I both know what type of music.
I like this. Correct. I don't know that anyone else is going to be crazy about it.
I make music almost exclusively about golf and how golf relates to life, right?
I would never listen to that. Oh, Gummi, that's funny.
Correct, right? Like, but that's the whole point is I'm making the music for me. I play it for me when I'm on the golf course because I find it hysterical, right? Would I ever have been able to convince someone to take my lyrics that I wrote and make golf music? No, because everybody would have been like, there's no money in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. It's still funny.
I still want to hear it.
I still want to hear about your bad slice, right? Like in a song format. But so, yeah, I think that is the biggest change you're going to see with AI music is that you're going to be able to get extremely personalized music that just fits what you like to hear at that given time.
Yeah. And I'm going to finish that with maybe, because as these platforms get good and start to making music very well, like Suno, they get bought out. Like Suno got bought out by Warner Brothers. The other one got bought out by Universal. You know, so it's I gotta tell you, I'm experiencing some funkiness with Suno that I wasn't experiencing before.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be. And so they're rolling out their new version in January, which is going to have different limits on it, right? Like if you're on a free account, you'll no longer be able to download your music, right? Like there are certain changes coming. I also think if they get full access to the Warner Brothers library to be able to train without limitations.
Oh, imagine what it would learn. Oh, ooh. Would you do that though? If you were Warner Bros., would you open that up to people? I don't know.
That's what they're doing.
Really?
Look, at the end of the day, it's going to advance with your help or without it.
They learned that from Napster.
Yes.
They absolutely learned that from Napster. Yeah.
Right? Like that
was a big lesson for the music industry.
Huge lesson. Yeah. Right? So now all of a sudden they went, wait, we need to put all this music online. Yeah. But we need to make sure we get paid in the process.
Right.
Right? So that's where you saw things like Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all these things pop up because now people wanted instant access to the music. Yeah. And they found out that people were willing to pay $10
a month
or whatever it was, right? Yeah. So they're not going to look at this and go, oh yeah, this is going to go away. No. This is here to stay.
Right. How do we control it?
How do we make money off of it?
Well, control to make money off of it. Yeah. All right. So Brian Tour, I'm with you, man. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I feel you. I do. I don't know. I think it's going to go. It could go either way. I still think there's always going to be human creativity, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, there was an AI song that hit the Spotify fastest, like the top 100 list on one of the Spotify.
Oh, there are Spotify artists out there, people that aren't real, that are AI generated artists that are killing it.
So here's another wrinkle in this whole thing: is I think Spotify put out that they are not going to compensate. Well, first of all, Spotify doesn't compensate any artist that doesn't have at least 100 plays a month. Right? Like you don't get paid on even if you created the music, real life artist, AI artist, whatever. But there's this whole theory around now that Spotify is going to start creating their own AI music and start adding it to playlists, because then proportionally they have to pay out artists less, because if they own the AI music that's on the playlists.
Of course. Why wouldn't they? Yeah, let's find another way to screw the artists.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we're done.
We're done?
Yeah, we're over our hour, but that's okay. That's an hour and whatever, hour and a few
15.
minutes. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
We got fun. So next week we're back into the regular fold on Wednesdays, right?
We should be.
Yeah, we should be.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we be?
I don't know.
You never know.
Stuff happens.
Okay. Well, as of right now, we should be back into our usual Wednesday routine after the holidays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time ish.
And you'll be in Texas for the next one, right?
I'll be in Texas for the next few. Okay. Yeah, well, probably for the next few months. Yeah. So I'll be at the remote location.
Okay.
The remote studio. Yeah. But same great conversation, same great stuff to talk about. Everybody on TikTok, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Happy holidays and happy New Year to everybody. And for those of you you have to get it in.
For New Year's, I would highly recommend that you get these, the Arnold Palmer half and half. They are absolutely delicious.
Do you enjoy those, Gummi?
And yes, I am going to toast in the new year with one of these this year.
And they're not even a sponsor of the show.
No, they're not.
Gummi just really, really likes his Arnold Palmer from Arizona tea. So Arizona, if you're listening in the new year, get Gummi some tea, would you? He really enjoys it. So with that, everybody, Happy New Year, take care, and we'll be talking next week.